Hey people, welcome to the channel. Stay for this video. I'll be talking about a topic I get asked about all the time, and it is something that if you make some of these mistakes, you may end up regretting this for the rest of your life, right? And it is about forming survival and prepper groups. Survivalist communities, forming a group in a homestead or whatnot. These are the things that you need to be extremely careful and wary about. Before we go on with the video, if you want to learn more about survival and preparedness, you have the channel with a ton of information. You have my books. You have the Spanish version there in the background, and you have them in English and French as well, by the way, which are selling extremely well. Thank you guys in France and Spanish-speaking community as well. Street survival skills and surviving the economic collapse. You have them available in Amazon in the links below. If you want to learn about preparedness without the fear-mongering and paranoia, simply objectively analyzing reality as it is and preparing accordingly. So, a couple other things. I got asked about the gas mask. That's a general service respirator. That is the UK issue mask, I believe, still. It is expensive, it is very high quality, but I suggest the following. A full face mask that is issued by some recognized military in a country that has quality equipment. Avon, Scott, those are good manufacturers. Full face mask, and I suggest going with NATO 40mm filters instead. I also got asked about the radio that you see. It's the Baofeng, and I did not know the model because it's not saying it. I had to check, and this is the UV16H Pro. This was sent for reviewing by the folks from Baofeng, so that's that. And it is a nicer model. It's UV5R with a bigger battery, a couple other functions, color screen, and most of all, I like the bigger battery. I think it's waterproof as well, and you have the USB charging ports directly there, which is a cool feature. What about the prepper community? Well, I've been doing this for quite some time now. It's been almost, 20 years I've been doing this, and I don't know of a single case in which that has actually worked. The idea of a bunch of friends, family, brothers, cousins, preppers that just happen to buying a chunk of land and everyone living next to the other, I don't know of anyone that has managed to do that successfully. The only thing I know of is drama, problems, and regrets. Now, you may not be that case. You may be, hey, no, you know what, Fernando, we've been living here in this homestead, 10 different families. It's been 20 years and we couldn't be happier. Dude, congratulations. I love it. I think it's great. Seriously, it is really not all, it's not that it's not all, it is extremely rare. It is a hen's tooth that you're talking about, because the most common thing is problems and drama. If it's a community, if it's a building, if it's a gated community, if it's a private neighborhood of some kind, there's going to be drama. Here, you're talking about drama times 100, because usually people in the survival and prepper community are very hard-headed, they're very determined, you're talking about very delicate things, and your heads are likely to clash. And then you have life. Oh, we're preparing for the end of the world. Yeah, but that dude over there got a job offer elsewhere, or he's just not going through a good time, he just got divorced, whatever, he has to sell the place. Who will be your next neighbor once he sells? Who's gonna be right next to you and know every single bit of, and know that you're a prepper community? Who is gonna be there? The drama and problems are extremely common in any kind of, no, but I'm talking about forming like a group, like on WhatsApp or on Facebook. Again, be extremely careful. I mean, there's wonderful people out there. Of course there is. But there's also lots of scumbags. There's lots of scams. You know, there's lots of bad. Years ago, there was one guy forming a prepper community in Argentina. And his idea was that because Argentina was so corrupt, they would just bribe their way through every red tape and anything that they needed to get done. Of course, that went as well as you would imagine. Then the same guy had a similar situation with a development in Chile. They didn't have they didn't have the permits for water in these places where they were selling homes. I mean, a shit show of epic proportions. The only things I've heard about that were bad things, right? I don't know of anyone that was happy with that. Everything I got in terms of emails of people contacting me was, yeah, this is a shit show. I regret this so much. I lost a bunch of money. This is crap. That's usually how these things turn out. Again, if you happen to have a very good experience and a couple friends of yours are living one next to the other, my advice is work towards the community that you already have. You already live somewhere and you know your neighbors. Well, get to know them. Be extremely careful with what you share regarding preparedness. Loose lips sink ship. It is something to live by. Be extremely careful. Oh no, we have our own church here. I have my own church. The amount of people that I know that have their own churches, dude, everyone has their own church. Everyone is a damn messiah. No, there's a bunch of cults out there, which is extremely dangerous. Now, there's wonderful people, but there's lots of very dangerous people out there. Be extremely careful who you trust in any of this, either for living one next to the other, which is, good luck with that, or the people you even trust within the groups that you form from meeting online or in the social Instagram or the Discord groups or whatever. I know so many scumbags that have ripped people off, that have been taking advantage, so many people that just, and no, it is maybe one of the most common things you hear about. It is far more likely that I hear about people that have ended up with bad experiences than people that have ended up with good experiences when they form these prepper and survivalist groups. If you're the exception, super happy for you. I'm not saying live in fear, don't have friends. I'm not saying any of that. I'm saying be extremely, extremely cautious with all of this. Who you end up, I've had great experience with people that I met in the shooting range, in classes. I've had great experiences with people that I even met through Instagram that just send me a message and eventually you get to know them, and awesome. You have to be tremendously careful with all of this. You're talking often about you're talking about the kinds of tools that we talk about here all the time that you see there in the background. We're talking about money, precious metals. You're talking about lots of things that it's the ground in which all of these scammers and criminals thrive in. They love the idea of taking advantage of people, okay? And just because you are in this community does not mean that you cannot be tricked and lied to and taken advantage of. Very, very careful. Honestly, small group of friends, people that you trust, and as time goes by, you trust more and more. Fantastic. My tribe, that is going to be my wife and my kids. That's the people I trust, completely, absolutely. That's it. That's as far as it goes. A couple of good friends that I really, really trust, and I know they would be there for me if I need them, and I will be there for them if they need me as well. But I've also had people that were like, and not even asking for basic kind of favor that any friend normally asks one another. And I'm not talking about asking for money or something. No, just, dude, you know what? I need a hand with it. Oh, yeah. I'm not here this weekend. Okay, we could do it. All right. So you were not a friend, right? Because I did that and a lot more for you, and you cannot. Okay, that's the most common thing. People that take advantage of others. And you thought you had a friend and you had someone that was basically using you, because the moment you needed just something like this from a friend, he wasn't there. And that is just nothing compared to serious shit and disasters and emergencies where you need someone that will actually have your back, right? Not even close to that. I'm talking about the most basic, stuff that friends normally ask from one another, and those people were not up to it. Imagine how much you can trust your prepper group when that's the case. Be extremely careful, be extremely cautious with how and where and who you share critical information with. Folks, see you next time. Have a wonderful day.